Well, that's such a lame excuse. It seems they only realized the significance of Remembrance Day after Harry posted about it on his website, by which point the photos were already circulating everywhere online. The situation only escalated into a full-blown debacle because of the intense blowback Harry and Meghan received for going out and partying while the occasion was being observed. This wasn't an innocent oversight. They knew exactly what they were doing at the time. More specifically, Meghan didn't appear to care about how it would be perceived. The explanation completely falls apart when you consider that they supposedly became aware of Remembrance Day only after the fact, even though Harry was seen attending the party while wearing a poppy. Bringing this up again 3 months later is only making the situation worse. At this point, it's essentially confirming what many people already believed, that Harry and Meghan don't genuinely care about Remembrance Day. For them, it's all about optics. If they knew it would be seen as disrespectful to go out partying, then why do it in the first place? That's the question no one has answered. Honestly, this wouldn't seem nearly as bad if Harry and Meghan's PR team hadn't decided to flood the media with explanations, dragging Kim Kardashian into it to justify why the photo was taken down. This was likely just a private conversation between Kim and Khloe, something most people would never have known about. But instead, Harry and Meghan's PR machine pushed it everywhere. Now you've got People magazine, In Style, and even the New York Post all repeating the same recycled talking points. It makes everyone involved look incredibly desperate and, frankly, pathetic. And Sunshine Sacks, you're not doing Harry and Meghan any favors here. If this is supposed to be part of a strategy to redeem their reputation, it's backfiring badly, especially given how obvious their hunger for attention and constant headlines has become. Obviously, this is a clear case of deflection. He doesn't want to talk about it because that relationship was never genuine. This so-called wedding was more of a spectacle, a performance put on for the world to watch, rather than a sincere union. Now, I'm not saying the wedding didn't legally happen or that Harry and Meghan aren't married on paper. What I am saying is that many of the people involved, including Meghan herself and the various high-profile attendees, aren't even in contact anymore. Think about Priyanka Chopra, once celebrated as a close friend of Meghan. She seems completely disconnected now. Or George Clooney, often joked about as an alleged CIA asset for the deep state, who didn't even know the couple personally. Why was he there? The entire relationship, the wedding, and much of the surrounding media circus feel like pure theater, designed to be consumed as entertainment rather than genuine human connection. The only reason the people behind this saga continue to push Meghan into the public eye is that there's an agenda at work, a deliberate effort to keep the public distracted. They know Meghan has made mistakes. They know she is widely seen as a colossal failure in many areas, but maybe that's exactly why she is kept at the center of attention. Keeping her in headlines, keeping people talking about her missteps and controversies, ensures the public remains focused on trivial distractions instead of bigger, more pressing issues. The more outrageous the story, the more attention it draws, and the more it serves those controlling the narrative. Let's use common sense. There is no natural reason for this couple to fail when they have access to some of the best resources, advisors, and public relations teams in the world. Unless, of course, it's all intentional. At this stage, almost everything making headlines about Harry and Meghan seems calculated. They clearly want to avoid scrutiny on more serious matters, like the growing reports of fraud in Minnesota or the financial irregularities now coming to light in California. Most people aren't aware of these real issues because the media and Harry and Meghan's team ensures we are distracted by sensationalized personal drama. For example, just yesterday, Donald Trump signed an executive order to take over the rebuilding of Los Angeles after the devastating wildfires, a disaster that occurred more than a year ago. And yet, rebuilding has barely progressed. Where did all the billions in relief aid go? That's a question that should concern everyone, but instead, we're all distracted by celebrity headlines. A logical place to begin investigating the mismanagement of these funds could be Harry and Meghan themselves. In previous videos, I've detailed their connections to organizations currently under investigation for fraud, including groups that received LA fire relief funds. Now, evidence appears to link them to the Minnesota situation as well. Let's be honest, Harry and Meghan rarely act without some form of financial incentive. Do I believe they are losing money? Not necessarily. They couldn't saturate the media the way they do without significant financial backing. Or perhaps the media saturation itself is purely for optics. Consider, for example, how Harry has lobbied to get taxpayers to cover his personal security costs. He's unwilling to pay for them himself, despite his enormous wealth. The way royal reporters handle this is also telling. They frequently cite anonymous sources and repeat prepackaged narratives without investigating or verifying. This isn't journalism, it's narrative control. The entire situation is absurd, yet it exposes the incredible power of a well-orchestrated PR machine. And this isn't just a Harry and Meghan issue. The royal family has been perfecting this for decades. Look at Camilla. The media helped rehabilitate her image over years, crafting a story that shifted public perception in her favor. It's likely the same strategy will be attempted with Harry and Meghan, but this time, the internet makes controlling the narrative far more difficult. That's why they are pushing regulations and attempting to silence independent voices like mine, who report without interference or control. If these people could simply be honest, there would be no reason to manipulate the story. But because there's so much to hide, controlling the narrative becomes essential. That's why every headline, every viral clip, and every PR stunt is intentional. I'm particularly looking forward to exposing what's happening in California, where there is widespread fraud taking place. In my next video, I'll present detailed findings on this situation, so make sure you're subscribed and have your notifications turned on. You won't want to miss it. And what about all this noise surrounding Kim Kardashian? Honestly, most people probably don't care. It's just more pollution in the public discourse. Yet it dominates headlines because attention is exactly what these teams are trying to generate. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Leave your comments below and share what you think about the way media and PR teams manipulate our attention. As always, I'll be back with more content, updates, and insights. Until then, stay safe, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, and welcome back, my gorgeous, good-looking friends.